Welcome to this episode of Video Drone by DIY3DTech.com. We're out here on the Black River with the Mavic Pro. So I've got the 270 camera mounted on top. I think I'm recording. I'm going to just try this a little bit as a stability flight. This is probably the heaviest camera I've probably flown on here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this up. I've already checked hover. I'm good to go. Just kind of letting this set in. And we got video recording starting, and I'm just going to kind of take this guy out. I want to turn him this way. I'm just going to kind of walk this guy around within line of sight. I want to take him up a little bit, just to make sure I stay above the trees. Now, interestingly enough, it seems to be with this camera on here losing a little bit of altitude, or at least it appears. Maybe it's just my perspective of the horizon. So I want to take this out. So take this up a little bit. Now I'm pretty sure I'm losing altitude. I know I'm kind of keeping an eye on it from a visual standpoint. So I'm up 20 some meters, so let's see, it's holding at 26. It says it's holding there. And so let's bring it back in towards me. And I'm hoping I'm getting video on this camera. This camera can get kind of weird sometimes. So again, I'm just kind of flying it back towards me. And just kind of flying it back, just checking. Still got pretty good battery. Fly it back this way a little bit. Just kind of flying it around a little bit, not doing too much with it. This is a lot of extra weight for this guy to handle. And it's a really hot day, probably about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, so I don't want to tax this thing too much or push it too hard where it's forced to land, because if it's forced to land somewhere, pretty much this is no different than the water. It'll land somewhere where I can't get it. So I just kind of bring it back around. Just kind of fly it down this way a little bit. Yeah, I've ordered the Samsung 360 camera. I'm hoping that's a little bit better camera for this type of stuff and maybe a little bit lighter weight. We'll do some comparisons once I get it in. I'm hoping the quality will be a little bit better. So I'm just going to leave this, kind of spin it around here a little bit. Give Norbert a yaw party. I haven't heard from Norbert in a long, long time. So a little bit of a yaw party for Norbert. And I'm going to bring it back towards me. I'm going to kind of lower it down a little bit. I want to go out. I want to lower it down into this gully a little bit. I want to be careful. I don't want to hit any trees or have issues with the bottom sensors. So we're just kind of dropping it down a little bit. And get some perspective. I want to back this up a little bit. Take it up. You can hear the motors are definitely working a lot harder. And I'm a little bit nervous with, again, the heat out here today, being a little bit rough on them in the ESCs. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it back in now. So I think it was a pretty good test. And let's bring it over. And let's bring it a little bit down. Ooh, she's a scorcher out here today, folks. And so let's, I'm getting buzzed by a bumblebee. Come on, get away from me. Come on. Okay, let's Let's set this bird down. There we go. We got this set down. I want to save off the video. Video saved off. So, hey, another good flight. The Mavic Pro. Probably one of the heaviest cameras. I think the DJI might be a little bit heavier than this guy. That was one of my first flights, although I couldn't record on it. Now, I've also gone to the dampener, because as you saw in my prior flights, there's a lot of vibrations. I'm really interested to see how these vibration dampeners are doing. So, anyways, let me know what you guys are thinking about for lunch. Another great flight of the Mavic Pro over the Black River with another camera. I'll have links to this down below and probably a card up in the corner if you want to try this out. So far, I've been really happy with this, knock on wood. So anyways, catch you guys in the next video and we'll go fly something. Cheers.